Hi, this is Jason Ayers with Dimension Data, and I'm going to give an overview of configuring a Cisco VG224 in Cisco CallManager. Here I'm using Cisco CallManager 803A with a VG224 running 15.2 or 15.1.2T. We normally configure these as SCCP just because we then have supplementary services. We can actually do a conference, we can do transfer. We have a lot of features with SCCP. We can also register in SRST mode with CallManager. So what we want to do is we'll go into device and then we'll go into gateway, and we're going to add this VG224 as a new device. So I'll go down here to VG224. I'll click on next, and I'm going to make it an SCCP device. Notice our options when registering with CallManager are MGCP or SCCP. I always recommend SCCP because of supplementary features. You can do a hook flash and do a conference bridge. Say you got an analog polycom. You can also do, I highly recommend modem pass-through for modems, fax machines, any kind of other devices. So we're going to make it a VG224 as SCCP. Notice the MAC address, it's only the last 10 characters of the MAC address. So what I'll do is I'll do a show interface FA00. And I'll basically record what the last 10 digits are. Notice the MAC address is 12 digits. We only want to use the last 10 digits of the MAC address. So the last 10 digits of this particular VG224 ends in 6209, the last 4. I'll paste that, give it a description, and then I'll pick a CallManager group. So basically this CallManager group will talk to the subscriber first, and if the subscriber is unavailable, then attempt to communicate with the publisher. Once I hit save, I'm then going to ask what the submodule is. So it's going to change the screen right here, and it's going to say that it's a 24-port FXS SCCP. SCCP stands for Skinny Client Control Protocol or Celsius Client Control Protocol, depending on who you ask. We'll do a save, and now it's going to pull up the individual lines. Just like a telephone, we have kind of the information on the lines as a whole. So now I want to give this port 20 a extension so that when I go off hook, so first I have to configure the device as a whole. And once I've selected all the settings for the device as a whole, I'll hit save. Now you'll notice that there'll be some line information. Just like a telephone, I've got the device as a whole and the line on the left. So I'm going to give this a 10-digit extension. Just going to make up a dummy number for now. And we're going to put that in the internal partition. All phone numbers actually go in the internal partition. I normally disable voicemail on a VG224. Unless there was some sort of particular reason why someone wanted voicemail on an analog line. And then you can go ahead and put in description, line text labels. You know, you can say fax test machine. And then here I usually, if it is a analog polycom, I may bump it up to 2 so that way they can conference in using the flash hook method. And we're going to hit save. At this point, everything is configured in CallManager. So if I actually go back to the device, I can take a look at the line as a whole. And I'll also want to go back and check the gateway as a whole. And one of the key things you'll want to look for is make certain that the gateway shows that it's registered. So if I go to Device Gateway, I now see my gateway. I'm going to go ahead and apply config. And notice here it shows that the port is now a phone because it's configured. And it's confirmed that I do have a registration with CallManager, and that is the IP address of the gateway. So one thing you may want to check is if you do and again this is 12 or 15.1.2 T1, and you can take a look. The running config basically has voice service. We've got the STCP app with CCM Group 1. We've got a STCP supplementary services. One thing to note too is voice service VoIP. Let me see if I can scroll back up. May have gone too far. So voice service VoIP, I always do the modem pass-through NSE codec G711 ULA. Just it automatically listens on lines for fax tones and will attempt to do modem pass-through. This works not only for modems, but it works for other devices. There's a static route. Here's my voice ports. That was put on there. And my CCM manager, SCCP, and then my CCM Group 1. And then I've got dial peers for each of the ports in CallManager. At this point I'll do a show SCCP, and I'll just verify that SCCP shows active, and then I'll show the individual ports under that. And I can do a show voice port summary. And then at the next point I would then plug a phone into port 200. I might do a couple good debugs or debug DPM signal. When I go off hook, it would actually show the off hook characteristics. I could then call in or out. Again, this is Jason Arians with Dimension Data, and we've just configured a VG224 with CallManager 8.0.